This highway-covered city has a modern streetcar line, and it's free to ride. When you think of Kansas City, Missouri, a modern public transportation system probably isn't something that comes to mind. And if you look at the city from satellite imagery, you would think that the city doesn't have any public transportation at all with all of the highways that segment the city. But Kansas City has actually built a very modern streetcar line for its downtown. So let's take a look at the KC Streetcar. The beginnings of the KC Streetcar. So like pretty much every other American city, Kansas City had an extensive streetcar network crossing the entire city. But at this point, you probably already know what happened. Cities in the US got rid of their streetcar lines and tore up their cities' neighborhoods in order to build highways and car-dependent infrastructure. And Kansas City really bought into the "cars are the only transportation of the future" narrative from the mid-20th century. But let's jump a few decades to the 2010s. In the early 2010s, there were quite a few different attempts to get some rail transit in Kansas City. Unfortunately, a lot of these other plans for transit in the region failed to get voter approval. However, in 2012, the people of downtown Kansas City approved a plan to build a 2-mile-long streetcar line. This vote approved a 1% sales tax to fund the construction and future upkeep costs of the streetcar line. The streetcar was initially projected by the city to cost around $102 million to build. However, once the infrastructure was finally all built, the total cost of building the system was nearly $250,000 less than the estimated cost. Testing on the trackage began in November of 2015, and just 6 months later, on May 6th of 2016, streetcar service finally came back to Kansas City. Now let's take a look at the operations of the KC Streetcar. The KC Streetcar network currently consists of just a single line that starts on Main Street just outside of Kansas City Union Station. This station is appropriately named Union Station, Pershing and Main. The line runs north, stopping at Crossroads 19th and Main, and from there continues running north through stations like Kaufman Center 16th and Main, Power and Light 14th and Main, Metro Center 12th and Main, Library 9th and Main, and North Loop 7th and Main. After North Loop Station, the line crosses over I-70 and does a loop around the River Market neighborhood, stopping at City Market 5th and Walnut, River Market North 3rd and Grand, and River Market West 4th and Delaware, before heading southbound back towards Union Station. Operating hours and frequency. The system currently operates every day of the week, with hours of operation being from 6 a.m. to midnight Monday through Thursday, Friday hours being 6 a.m. to 1 a.m., Saturday hours being from 7 a.m. to 1 a.m., and Sunday hours being from 7 a.m. to midnight. The frequency of the trains, or about how often they run about every 15 minutes all throughout the day. Pricing. It's free. There's no cost to ride. Just hop on board. Thanks to that 1% sales tax, the streetcar doesn't have to charge anything to ride. Rolling stock. The Kansas City Streetcar currently uses 6 light rail vehicles manufactured by it's a good thing they go by CAF. The KC Streetcar uses the low-floor Urbos 3s for their operations. There are a couple of really huge advantages that the Urbos provides. One thing is that they have level boarding at all stations, which makes it easier to board if you're in a wheelchair. The trains are some of the cleanest I've seen in the US and do a really great job for the operations that they run for the KC Streetcar, with plenty of seating and standing area, as well as display screens for stations. The future of the KC Streetcar. Plans to extend the streetcar have been proposed ever since the initial 2.2 miles of streetcar were approved. Currently, there is the Main Street extension that is in the middle of construction. This southward extension of the streetcar will run for 3.5 miles, more than doubling the length of the system, and will create 15 new stations and will also connect the University of Missouri Kansas City to the streetcar network. This extension is expected to be completed in 2025 and will have improvements over the original trackage, including its own dedicated lanes along Main Street. Another extension that has been planned and funded is the Riverfront extension, a 3/4 of a mile extension north from the River Market Loop. This extension is designed to connect Berkeley Riverfront Park as well as the future home of the KC Current, Kansas City's NWSL team. There are also a couple of other expansions to the system that have been proposed, including a northern extension that would cross the Missouri River and serve the communities on the other side of the river, as well as the creation of a second streetcar line that would run east-west through downtown and other surrounding neighborhoods of the city. However, both of these extension plans are both stuck in a limbo due to multiple different reasons. The KC Streetcar is definitely anything from conventional. From its origins, to its operations, to its future, it definitely has a lot of charm for a brand new system. It's probably the only time I've ever been on a transit system where the driver got the whole train to sing Happy Birthday to one rider. which without a doubt was the most wholesome moment I've ever seen on transit. I honestly don't know how the transit community will view the KC Streetcar in a decade or two. What is clear is that this is a rail transit system in a city that desperately needed it, and has a lot of people that care for it. Whether they work for the system, take it to work, or take it to enjoy their day in Kansas City, it has definitely become a part of the city, and hopefully it continues to improve the lives of the people of Kansas City. Have you taken the KC Streetcar? Do you take it regularly? How do you feel about the future of this system? And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And if you enjoy my content, be sure to check out my other social medias, linked down below. Thank you to all the wonderful people who helped me make this video. And a very special thank you for those who subscribe to me on TikTok, Instagram, or follow me on Patreon. Especially Tony Stunts, who's in my trolleybus tier on Patreon. Want your name read in the credits? Then be sure to join my Patreon. It comes with a whole bunch of other benefits as well, too. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.